Hello, and a warm welcome back to the TNC Podcast. I will get the smiles out of the way early because I suspect the only way is down from this point on. But Chris, fear not, it has been Christmas. Are you still feeling merry? Lovely to see you.
No, I'm not.
Not at all. We've got a beer in our hand. What more can you want?
No, I said to you, just to be transparent with the audience, I said before we started, guys, that
You're in a bad mood today.
I'm still seething, and I'm not wearing the club colours.
Yeah, I see that.
I'm embarrassed.
Are you mourning? You've got a tinge of green going on.
I'm genuinely I'm embarrassed by the football club that we support, and I'm embarrassed at myself for being embarrassed, and I'm in such a hole with it, Jack.
Really?
Yeah, I really am, because it's all well and good losing to Arsenal because they're Arsenal, right? You can kind of just about accept it because they're Arsenal, even though the manner of the defeat was absolutely appalling. But that Palace game, my God, and we'll talk about it.
We'll get onto it in a moment.
More detail.
How was your Christmas, though?
Yes, it was nice.
Yeah.
Tarnished by Norwich City, but it was nice. I was relaxed. I was with the family on the Lakens. Eating cheese.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah.
I was before we get into the post-mortem of the Norwich games. Thank you to everyone who sent me their pictures of them quaffing on St Nick's beer over Christmas out of the lovely little barrel. It was nice to see that, so I hope you all enjoyed it. And if you do want to get yourself some Lakens, start 2022 the way you want to continue. There's a link in the description that will get you 20% off.
You will need a lot of beer to get through the rest of this Norwich City season. So, and I have inquired with Lakens about actually establishing a new line of vodka. I think we need
something a bit stronger.
Yeah, I think we need something stronger. Oh, Jack, there was one thing actually. I thought I'd cheer you up a bit today.
Oh,
I have brought something along with me.
Have you?
Yeah, I have. I thought
this is
you would
actually a surprise.
You'd quite like.
Oh no!
One of these.
No.
The best chocolate to have at Christmas is an After 8. Come on, get yourself in there. Try one on camera.
What does it say on here? Good, but not quite as good as a Ferrero Rocher. Well, little envelopes of wonderfully minty chocolate thins. If they were so good, why did you not finish them off over Christmas?
Because I wanted to make sure that you could have one.
Because they're a substandard. I get more joy from brushing my teeth than eating these.
Absolutely glorious chocolate. Never disrespect After 8s.
The thing with mint chocolate, I can get behind mint chocolate. I like a mint club. I like a mint aero. But these things are just, the chocolate's naff.
I don't get it though, because you are a bit of a posho. But the fact you don't like After 8, even the way you're eating that, put it in your mouth and...
It's because I just don't really like them.
Put it in your mouth and suck on it.
Have you ever
had...
Let
the chocolate melt into your mouth.
Have you ever had, what's it called? Mint cake.
Mint cake?
What's it called? Kendall mint cake.
What the hell are you talking about?
Mountaineers eat it.
No.
Basically, it's basically just sugar.
Is that what you need in Yarmouth to just walk on the beach?
It just tastes like that, but you eat that for kind of endurance things. This you're meant to eat for pleasure, and I'm getting as much pleasure from this as watching Norwich City defend, and that's not much.
Oh God. Anyway, there's your After 8.
Thanks,
right,
mate.
We've got a busy agenda tonight, haven't we? We're going to be talking about lots. We're going to be talking about the Arsenal defeat. Probably. We're going to definitely be doing a post-mortem on Palace. We're going to be talking about Billy Gilmour. Good God. There's a lot to talk about Billy Gilmour.
Apparently we were involved in some Billy Gilmour saga.
Where do we go from here? And there are, how many Twitter questions were there?
130 at last.
Which is definitely a record now. I think 99 was the record, so obviously people are angry.
Shall we start in chronological order?
Yes.
Let's start at Arsenal. Boxing Day.
Yeah.
Still a little bit kind of tired with the turkey and the pigs and blankets swilling around. So I was ready to be motivated, rejuvenated by a Norwich City performance.
Yeah. I'm going to need my beer for this.
Side wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, considering I think Smith called it a joke that we were playing 2 games in 40. Lunacy.
Yeah.
Called it lunacy. So I was fearing the worst. And I saw that team and I thought...
And you got the worst.
I saw that team and I thought, if we can replicate the performance that we did against Manchester United against Arsenal, we could get something out of this. How naive and wrong I was.
How have we gone from that spirited Manchester United, albeit defeat, to to what we're seeing now. That's what I don't get.
I'm almost pissing myself off at this point. Because
United on a serious note, and I'm going to flip this a little bit, I know we're shit. United are really shit, aren't they?
Well, Newcastle should have beaten them as well.
There you go. Anyway.
But it shows, doesn't it? Like, the levels have dropped so much that our highlight of the past 8 weeks has been a loss against Manchester United.
Correct. I totally agree.
That's what's annoying myself.
And it's not just that, Jack. It's actually people are talking about player performances.
Yeah.
We've still lost. They've still had a bad performance. They've still conceded goals. People are talking about defenders that have conceded 3 or 4 or 5 goals. Like it's I can't buy into that at all.
Well, and I kind of feel bad sometimes when I say, like, why are we praising Poeta? Yeah. He hasn't scored. He hasn't really delivered that many great crosses.
This is the thing.
He's worked hard, but our levels should be more than that.
But this is the thing. This is what is really... I agree with you, Jack. I like this terminology from you. You said, I'm getting pissed off that I'm getting pissed off over. And it's the fact that I went away from the Arsenal game going, PP is my man of the match. Do you know why? Because he ran. Really? But that's where I'm at now. Do you know why PP was my man of the match? Because he could be bothered to track back. How... I just cannot believe that we're in this situation. And Jack, I do want to actually get you to read out, because I've not got my phone on me, it's on charge tonight.
Yeah.
I want you to read out, there's a couple of tweets that I saw on Twitter about an hour before filming this, from a guy called Josh, and also a follow-up from Nick. Now,
can you remember it word for word?
No, I can't. but it speaks about and I think this is an important piece of context, because Norwich fans are now getting a lot of heat from the Nationals, from opposition fans, and also Norwich fans are turning on each other. But this is, I think, the reason why it's so heated and it's boiled over to this point. What are Josh and Nick saying?
So Josh says, I think people need to realise that Norwich fans aren't just pissed off because of this season. It is the culmination of 4 consecutive top-flight campaigns where we've been an absolute embarrassment. We've been extremely patient, in my opinion. Nick then says, that's compounded by the fact that no one got to see last year's dominant team in person. It's harder to enjoy yo-yoing if you don't fully experience the ups. Which is completely valid.
And it's so good. It's the way they've put that. They've both commented that. I think it's very well put.
Nick Alpers and Josh on Twitter. Well done.
But I don't think anyone is talking about what Nick's actually just spoken about there, because not only do we have to put up with this shit this season, it's the fact that we didn't see that high. And I think that's why Norwich fans are now bubbling over, because we're in this same position that we're in after that dismal Premier League restart.
Well, I think as well it's why we're seeing so much of the craving for Mario Vrancic and Stiepermann and Hernandez is because we didn't see them last season. Now, I don't think any of them players I've just named would have necessarily changed things that much this season. But I understand where people are coming from, because would they have levelled or bettered the performance levels of a Jollis or a Sargent or someone? Yeah, they probably would have done.
Should we talk about the recruitment right now? Well, or do we leave that?
I think we have to, don't we?
I think we do, Jack, because I think it's look, and I'm always gonna just say it how I see it, and I try to always, people need to understand that we are definitely not getting any privileges from the football club by saying this. I thought that Stuart got the recruitment right in the summer. I'm happy to hold my hands up and say, on paper, Billy Gilmour, one of the most exciting loan players that we have ever managed to bring into the football club. I also liked that latent potential around Josh Sargent. Well, arguably more than latent potential. And then Christos Solis, right? I was really excited. PLM, everyone's heard me embarrass myself. I thought he'd be our player of the season, but he's barely kicked the ball for us, right? Now, the reality is, and I'm happy to admit this, I couldn't have been more wrong. The summer recruitment has been woeful. I can't describe it in any other way.
Yeah, I mean the recruitment hasn't been great. I think constantly I find myself getting really angry at the recruitment, and then I keep thinking, well, we've spent 60 million quid, which is a hell of a lot of money for Norwich. It doesn't really scratch the surface in the Premier League, so we are operating in a kind of bracket where you're going to have to get lucky with a few for them to work. And I think the better of the signings were Matthias Norman and Milo Rashica.
Well, you say that Milo's done fuck all since he's been here. I'm excited
yeah.
by Milo too.
I think the
but
performance...
he's not created anything, he's not scored anything, Jack.
No, the performance against Southampton really excited me from Milo.
He just ran. He didn't assist, he didn't score.
I saw glimpses, and maybe it is me just grabbing.
Mate, I'm on your team with it.
No,
I'm excited
I agree.
by him too, but he's still not done anything.
No, of course, the numbers are poor. I think losing Norman was a big loss. I think the midfield is probably our biggest weakness at the moment. But yeah, I think you look back at Stuart Webber's reign of Norwich City. I mean, who we look, the German signings of Vrancic and Stiepermann and them kind of players were great.
Yeah.
Pukki and Buendia were, of course, miraculous. Other than that...
But Jack, it's almost like... And I don't know if Nick Masher put this in his Mash to Monday or whether he sent this to us privately and I'm now about to wear it. And he said, well, it's... The time that our recruitment has worked was when we had nothing to play with. Yeah, when Farke first came in, when we truly were, on our knees in terms of finances, we had to be creative, and the gambles paid off. But it seems every time that we've got this Premier League money, we've pissed it up a wall.
Yeah,
and there's no other way of describing it.
Well, let's go.
Do you know what? Before you go, I need to go.
Yeah.
Right? Losing Matthias Norman is the equivalent of when we lost Tim Close against Crystal Palace in the Premier League. Do you remember when he was injured against Crystal Palace?
Away.
And I shed a tear in the stadium because I knew at that point it was almost an impossible ask. And I think losing Matthias Norman, I think it's much bigger than people inside the football club would probably like to admit to.
Again, though, with Matthias Norman, and I hadn't quite realised this until I think it was Rob Butler said it on Canary Call. Norman's injury record prior to signing him was atrocious.
So this is it. So why are we signing players like that?
Maybe it's not unlucky. Maybe we should have expected
and
it.
Jack, maybe people will be commenting this as well. And feel free to drop your comments down below in YouTube if you're watching on YouTube. Really interested to read through them after this because it's a really complex situation. There's so many fires to put out here. I think what we are doing is we're finding ourselves in this position where we're now getting such a disconnect between the fans and I'm going to say the club. I'm not wearing my Norwich shirt today. I'm embarrassed. I'm genuinely embarrassed, mate. And I think it's not me. It's a huge worry. And I want to say that, and I tweeted this. I want to say this about the Arsenal game, and people have said, "Oh well, the atmosphere's been shit for ages." The atmosphere against Arsenal was an absolute morgue. Honestly, I always take the piss out the River End for being the library. Mate, honestly, the fact that a bloke in front of us gave me a look and sneered at me because I was trying to support the team, is that really where we're at now? Where we're just going to sit there and fold our arms and I think that is, and I don't blame fans for doing that because they're being served up with shite continuously. And I feel so sorry for Dino. Dean Smith has been dealt with just...
But he knew what he was taking on.
I agree, but I do still feel sorry for Dean Smith because he's come in and all the puzzle pieces are all over the floor and he's tried to get them together and then he's had injuries and COVID and it's all kind of gone out the window again.
Should we go through our summer signings and just...
If we have to, yes.
So this summer, I think you, myself...
Yes.
Quite a few Norwich fans looked at this list and were like, okay, that's decent. Christos Jolis, according to Transfer Market, was our most expensive signing.
Yeah.
Hasn't really played when he hasn't really made an impact.
What I will say about Christos Jolis, and I will stand by this and I'll debate it with anyone, massively derailed by Daniel Farke, hugely.
But
wasn't played when he should have been played, and when he was played, he was given a bit part role in games, thrown on too late, and then of course that famous cup game where he actually wanted to take a penalty. I like a bit of that passion, and then he was just dismissed and cast aside.
Milo Rashica.
Can I just quickly go back to Zolis again? I'm so sorry, mate. Do you know what else pisses me off about Zolis?
Yeah.
He's an exciting player. We're not even playing the football to feed these players, and I think these players were brought in for Daniel Farke. So now Dean Smith is looking at these cards and going, well, what the hell is this? We're not playing the football to suit the style of Christos Jolis and Milo Rashica. We're not playing the style of football to suit them, are we?
Well, no, and I think we're maybe jumping subjects here slightly, but when people say, like, I guess, directed at us and a lot of other people who wanted Daniel Farke out. They were like, well, what's Dean Smith? Like, Dean Smith's won as many games this season as Daniel Farke. And it's like, well, yeah, the upturn in form hasn't maybe been quite what we'd expect, neither of the performance levels. But Dean Smith has got a squad of players who he didn't sign.
Yes.
Daniel Farke had a hell of a lot of influence over who he brought in. So it's difficult to judge Dean Smith from what we've seen so far, because he's one COVID, 2 injuries, kind of take that with a pinch of salt because everyone's got that issue.
Yeah.
And he's playing with a squad who he didn't assemble.
But we do expect better, even in this situation. We expect players to track back. We expect players to put in tackles. We expect players to at least look like they're trying. And at the moment, they're not. And I'm a bit pissed off about this topic, actually, Jack. The pro Farke brigade has all come out in force again, saying, ha 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 ha, I told you so. We should have kept Daniel Farke. Oh, come on, really? Honestly. He'd lost it. He'd lost it in Norwich. It was time for Daniel to go. Yeah. Stuart Webber clearly agreed because he kicked him earlier than we actually mentioned. There's this whole narrative of people saying that we created this campaign around Daniel Farke to get sacked. All I said on a podcast was, if he loses against Brentford, I'd sack him. Yeah? And he won and got sacked. That's it. There's nothing, like, I've not tried to get him out, yeah? I just felt like it was the right time to mix it up. Getting Dino in when we got him in, and proven, by the way, by that run of, I think it was 5 games undefeated, yeah?
No, it was a run, wasn't it?
I think it was 5 games undefeated. So you can see that it was the right thing to do to bring in that change. But what we've now learned, in hindsight, of course, which a lot of people are enjoying the old captain hindsight now, is that the players aren't good enough. And we didn't know that, did we? Or did we?
So,
anyway, sorry.
Jollis, Rashica, again, a player who's been, scuppered with injury.
Yes.
I think with all of these players as well, like, I don't want to sound like I'm making excuses, and maybe I am. I've said this so many times before, when you're signing a Jollis who's 19, or a Josh Sargent who's 21, or Rashica who's
so with you on this
25, it's such a difficult league to prove yourself in,
exactly,
especially
Jack.
when you're bottom.
No, exactly, Jack. And this is what's making. And earlier you said to me, "Oh well, 50 million, 60 million, it doesn't even touch the sides." Do you know what? I'm going to disagree with that. Yeah, because Emmanuel Dennis, £10 million. We missed out on the signing of Josh King. We wouldn't play and pay the wages for Azure, who's been superb for Brentford, by the way, albeit is now injured, I believe. Right? So, which, by the way, there you go, trying to sign an injured player again. My point is, we could have signed better players than we did. And of course, I'm going to be Captain Hindsight now and contradict myself. Rather than spreading it thin, what we should have done is bought 3 big signings, and built the team around that, because we can't afford to wait for a Christos Jollis to hit the ground running if we're really wanting to stay in the Premier League. Let's hold our hands up and admit that. We want it to work, but it's been proven twice. This model, with the gap that's already in the Premier League now, it's not going to work. It's not going to work.
And I think what was really apparent on Tuesday against Crystal Palace was the level of churn that this side has seen over the past 2 seasons. Like, the players playing on Tuesday, hardly any of them had really played together. And I said to my mate, I was like, we lack such quality. And he replied and he said, there were 6 international players in that side on Tuesday. The quality's there in chunks, but these players haven't played together. And like you say, maybe with hindsight, we should have lessened the churn, brought in a few marquee signings.
Yes, but Jack, not to go Roy Keane on you, but to go Roy Keane. Playing for your international team now, it doesn't mean what it used to mean. Yeah, Adam Eder's playing for Ireland. He's played more games for Ireland than he has for Norwich. And by the way, I'm not going to pile on Adam because I do think that there's a player in there, and I do think that Adam will get better.
He's not a Premier League player at the moment.
But yeah, but that's the thing. And but also, it's not Adam's fault that he's in this position where he's having to play in the Premier League. Like, we all said, I mean, I didn't say, I think you said, and a lot of fans said, Adam needs to get a loan move. I quite fancied Adam off the bench.
Off the bench.
Exactly, yeah. I'm not saying you should start. But anyway, we're going
Right,
on.
I'm going to go through this list because otherwise we'll be here all day.
Yes.
So Jollis, Rashica, Sargent.
Yes.
Ben Gibson and Dimi Yanulis, of course, played last season, made permanent. Leigh-Malou, Angus Gunn, Ozan Kabak, Matthias Norman, Brandon Williams, Billy Gilmour.
And not a single one of those players have made an impact.
No. Barring Norman for 5 games.
And I don't think it's fair to count Dimi and Gibson because they played last season. Maybe that's just me bending the rules a little bit. Because thanks to them, we won the title. So
yeah, well, no, I was thinking about this the other night and thinking, if we were to do a player of the season now, who would it be? I actually think Dimi Yanulis.
Oh, God. But do you know what's crazy about that? Every time we're losing a game, he gets pulled off at half time, and you're saying he's your player of the season.
But he was injured, to be fair, against Palace.
But I agree, Jack. I'm not sure who else could you give it to. Do you give it to Norman because he scored against?
Well, he's played about 6 games. The loan signings as well. Let's talk about that. So,
God, here we go.
Billy Gilmour and Brandon Williams, the 2 loan deals. Now, both of these players, I think I'm going to have a different opinion to these. I like parts of Brandon Williams' game. I think he's tenacious. I think he's strong in the challenge. I don't think he's got a footballing brain. I think often he's out of position, making silly moves. And I get so Williams has come in from United, Gilmour's coming from Chelsea. You can afford to make mistakes in them sides because you've got maybe not so much United, but £80 million
definitely
player
United.
coming.
You've got David De Gea, mopping up the mess behind you.
And with Gilmour, you can afford to take more risks because you've got Kante behind you, right?
Yes.
You can't do that at Norwich.
Correct.
Now, I think both Brandon Williams and Billy Gilmour are actually quite good players.
Yeah.
They're not the players we needed.
And they're not Norwich City players.
No.
And that's the matter of the fact, Jack. They came in with such a expectation, albeit completely peddled by people like me, that said Billy Gilmour's the most exciting player to sign on loan.
Billy Gilmour is a good player.
I know, but he can't be a good player for Norwich because A, we're a steaming pile of shite. B, no one is there to mop up the mess. I said this to you in the last pod. Billy needs a Norman next to him. He needs someone that's going to bully players, create space for him to do what he does best, which is get his head up and play those brilliant through balls that we did see a small slither of. Brandon Williams, I agree. I like those qualities that you've mentioned in terms of his aggression, but mate, against Arsenal, good God.
Well, I think both him and Max was at
Max
has been at fault for quite a few goals this season. You're looking at attacks and you're like, where the fuck's our right back?
But do you know what's making me crazy about some of these players, Jack? Because I'm sort of thinking to myself, I was kind of expecting them to almost put in some performances to try and almost play for a January move. Like at the moment, I don't think people would want to sign Max anymore. Max has gone from almost knocking on the door of Barcelona to now I'm thinking, like, and he'll know this to be fair, against Arsenal. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it was awful.
Like, and it wasn't just him, can I say?
No,
the collective group, the defence in general was woeful against Arsenal. But we're being beaten far too easily. And Max is a player who's fast, who can and should keep up. He's got Premier League experience, and the same for Brandon Williams as well. It's not good enough.
I think the thing with Billy and Billy's he's been the talk of the town over the last few games. One, because he's coming from Chelsea, and Chelsea are a big club with a massive worldwide audience. He's just and I think the media have peddled a narrative around Billy Gilmour. I think he got man of the match on his Premier League debut, man of the match on his international debut, man of the match on his Cup Champions League debut. This is a man with clear talent,
yes,
and he's one of the home nations, so he's going to be excited. I watch Billy and I'm like, you are a very good player. I think against Palace he completed more passes than any other Norwich player, which isn't a very high bar, but still did. One, we're playing him out of position. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's too small and he's not
but that's where Chelsea,
strong enough.
No. But Chelsea fans will be screaming at their YouTube now because they're saying he is. He doesn't play in the number 10, Jack. That's what Chelsea fans have told me.
Well, no, I know, but we're playing him in a defensive midfield position.
But that's where they're saying he could play. He should play. He has played.
Well, I disagree with that. I think I look at Gilmour and I think he's a player that needs to be playing in front of a defensive midfielder. he takes risks, right? And this Norwich side, I think Kenny McLean completed, or was it two? The stats of Kenny McLean against Crystal Palace in all departments were horrendous.
Yes.
Absolutely horrendous.
Yeah.
He's not taking risks.
Like a lot of them, by the way.
He's not making forward passes. And when he is making forward passes, he's giving it away and then giving away penalties. Gilmour is probably the easy target because he's got a whole bunch of fans and Chelsea fans who love him to bits, and rightly so. He's one of theirs.
This is the
and
thing.
we're looking at... You know what the thing is, and this happens every time, when your football club's losing, you're trying to find someone to blame. Who's at fault? Well, actually, this is a collective failing. This isn't Gilmour's fault.
Yeah.
This isn't Weber's fault. This isn't Delia's fault. This is the situation that we're in, and everyone just hasn't really got it right this time. I think that's the situation we're in. Having said all that, Gilmour hasn't been as good as I thought he would be.
Yeah.
I think he's actually been one of the better players.
Which is worrying because he's not been good enough.
Well, it's very worrying. But that's
It's
the
worrying
standard
because
we're
he's
at.
not been good.
Mate, we've spent all season praising Josh Sargent for running.
I praised him
That's
for one game.
That's
and
the
that
levels
was-
we've got to.
Yeah,
Did you see him tracking back against Arsenal?
Mate,
He had 10 yards on Kieran Tierney, and suddenly Tierney's 20 feet ahead of him. Are we really praising Josh Sargent's work right here?
Do you know what, honestly? I can't talk about Josh Sargent on this podcast. I can't because I'll blow my top.
Okay.
Billy Gilmour, to go back to him, honestly, Josh Sargent makes me so angry at the moment, I had to admit. Right, Billy Gilmour. I tried to see this, I tried to zoom out and think, if I was a Chelsea fan, would I act in the way I'm acting? Probably not, but I can kind of understand. You made a good point. It's one of your own, yeah? For example, if we found out that Middlesbrough fans were giving Anel Hernandez stick, even though Anel Hernandez has been told he's surplus to requirements by Daniel Farker, you would still get annoyed that he's getting pelters, right? So I understand why Chelsea fans are annoyed at that. But what Chelsea fans need to understand is when you... At Norwich, it isn't... When you support a club like Chelsea or a top six side, you can look at stats until you are eating Christmas dinner. You can read stats until you fall asleep at night. You can become a mathematician, or you can become a data scientist. Yeah, it's just like stats. Now you could say the stats don't lie, facts don't care about feelings, and you were right, Jack. He made the most tackles against Palace, the most passes in the attack. I'm going to make this up a little bit here. The attacking third,
Sounds about right.
So he's not just passed it sideways. He was actually one of our better players. But Chelsea fans, please believe me when I say he was a max of 4 out of 10 against Palace. BBC rated him a 2, I believe, right? And look, let's take the emotion out of it. He hasn't worked for Norwich City. He might work for you because you can give him the luxuries that he needs. Yeah, I think he'd be a great player. But for Norwich City, unfortunately, and it kills me to say it because I was so excited about him, he's not going to work for us.
Again, though, Chris, and I completely agree with everything you say, isn't it a worry that Gilmour, we've signed Gilmour and you're saying he's not the player we need, and I agree.
Yeah.
I think basically every single one of the players we've signed fits into that category.
Well, I agree, but that's...
Have we not learnt anything?
Well, yes, that's true. We haven't learnt anything.
So we did this last time.
We haven't learnt anything. We've done the same thing again, which is at Weber's door, by the way.
So, well, let's talk about Stuart Webber. Like,
mate, I don't know.
Because against Arsenal, there was a sizable section of the Barclays singing, "We want Webber out." That was the first I'd heard of that.
I wouldn't say it was sizable. I wouldn't say it wasn't sizable. It was a cluster of fans were singing that. And by the way, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I want to make a point about the chanting, okay? Because obviously this Billy Gilmour chant, at Palace just went absolutely crazy on social media.
Right, so let's clear the air here. What happened? So we get sent a video. We weren't at Selhurst Park.
We got sent a video. Right, basically, what we do when we're not at away games ourselves, what we try to do is we ask people to send us some videos of the fans chanting and stuff like that, right? So the video came in, right? Me and Jack had a chat about it, and we decided to post it. Rightly or wrongly, we'll let you decide.
And the video was of Norwich fans telling Billy Gilmour to go back to his parent club.
In a much more rude way.
Yes.
And after 10 minutes of posting it, it had gone viral, and I'm sitting there looking at it, and I'm too soft to run a fan channel, right? Because I'm looking at it, I'm going, I don't want this. I don't want, albeit it was fair journalism, you know, and I didn't want to create a pile-on for Billy, right? No. So I made a mistake, in my opinion, by posting it. So I deleted it, and that's what happened. Yeah, it wasn't for clicks, for engagement, all of this bollocks. We don't do it for that. We don't get paid based on social media engagement. So I took it down. But so that's the whole thing with the Billy Gilmour video. Would you say that's fair?
Well, yeah, I think you were always sceptical about posting it. I said I think we should, because if it was a group of 10 lads pissed up chanting it, it's a different story. It sounded like, and it looked like, it was the majority of the away end singing it.
Yes.
So I thought that's a story.
Yeah.
It reflects the mood of the away section that day. I think we should post it. With hindsight, maybe we shouldn't have done.
But
it blew up, and then we deleted it.
Yeah, I think we made the right call in the end.
Anyway, it got nabbed by a load of people, and it's gone.
But that's
headlines
so that's what's happened, right? But I want to talk about the chanting for this reason, right? Everyone is talking about that Billy Gilmour chant, right? I've spoken because what I tried to do when I'm not at the games is I speak to multiple people that are at the games. I try and ask around, did you go? Did you go? Where did you go? Where did you see it? How did you feel? And I say like, oh, can you give me your bullet points? You know, what was the emotion? What were the fans like? I really tried to research and study into like what has actually happened, even when I'm there. So I've spoken to a couple of people about it, and they're saying, Chris, do you know what? The Billy Gilmour chant, yeah? Actually, Josh Sargent got so much more pelters than that. Yeah, it was gallows humour the whole way through that game in the away end. There was multiple dismissive, ironic, sarcastic, and arguably hateful chants going on. So yeah, that's the situation of the Billy Gilmour chant. I think that it's been really overhyped. Really.
Yeah, you know the thing with
because he's Billy Gilmour and the Chelsea fans love him, which is understandable.
I agree. He's been below average, but not terrible. We've both been in multiple away ends, and granted we haven't really been this season, but we've experienced like gallows humour, right?
Yeah.
I think if I'm a player, I would rather receive Norwich fans calling me shit than like sarcastic. I think sarcastic chanting. So like the stages of a football fan, it's like aggression, numbness. We're just going to own how shit we are.
Yes. And
we've
that's where
reached
we're at
that
now.
point.
Yes.
How embarrassing and humiliating for players.
Because we're now singing "We're fucking shit." And you know,
the whole of I've got a few friends who are Palace season ticket holders. They're going, have you really hit the lows where you're celebrating non-existent goals?
But if you but yeah.
And yes, we have.
And if I'd paid my money to travel there,
I would have done the same.
I would have joined in the ironic, sarcastic songs because, quite frankly, what else was there to watch? Do you know what was our man of the match? Do you know who our man of the match was against Palace? The fucking pitch invader. It's an embarrassment. No, that's
what
the
a
truth.
Hit, by the way.
Great touch. Sign him up. That was one of the other songs. It's the truth. Anyway, that's how I feel about the chants.
I think if I'm a player and I'm hearing the chanting, most of it was in very good humour. I'm like, fuck, what is going on?
But I
think it was just that, like, obviously, I'm sure I didn't hear every chant. I'm sure there were some that overstepped the mark, but we've got to that level of just... And Arsenal, right? I've watched the 5th goal and I'm like, well, yeah, kind of expected it. I don't want to feel numb walking out of Carrow Road.
Yeah.
I want to feel angry and then see a reaction. I've watched us get absolutely pumped by Castle.
Yes.
And then I've seen the same thing against Palace.
Do you feel like this, Jack, right? I can't, maybe it's our age. Maybe this is our age showing here, right? I can't go to a football game and fold my arms and pull a poo face and just watch a game of football and not say anything. I get behind the lads. I fucking want them to win, Jack. I want them to win. I want them to fight. I want them to bleed for the crest on the front of the shirt, yeah? That's what I want. And if they don't give it to me, I'm going to get passionate because I fucking love this football club. Like, it gets me, I'm so angry talking about it. And the fact that we are at the stage where we're chanting that, well, do you know what? Maybe the board need to hear that. Maybe Stuart Webber needs to realise that that's where we're at. That's where we're at. If we're spending all of this money on tickets, and we're being served up with performances like that. What do you expect?
You know, the other thing, I think this was a question actually in regard to ticket prices. 48 quid they're charging. £48.
Christ.
Right, let's get some questions, otherwise we're going to be here all day.
Can I just say, quick interlude here. I'm really sorry again that we've spent the majority of this podcast ranting and getting angry. But
to be fair,
I can't be positive about this.
The last podcast was spent talking about like Yorkshire puddings and stuff.
Do you know what's just popped into my head? A cheeky little positive.
Go on.
Jonathan Rowe. Hello. Here we go. I've got a lot of interest there.
Johnny Rowe. Big John.
Johnny Rowe. Let's have a go. Mate, genuinely.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
Up the Football League. There's something in that, isn't there? Row your boat up the Premier League. If you see Arsenal, don't forget to concede. Anyway, keep going.
Sam Pitcher.
Yeah, good old Pitcher.
Statement.
Top man, by the way. Go on.
Failing to replace Skip and Buendia probably never gave us a chance.
Oh, Christ.
I would have rather have 2 quality signings than 9 poor signings.
Yeah.
Where do we go from here? And then he says, in light of a previous podcast, what do you think about matchmakers? I don't like matchmakers.
No, matchmakers, no interest.
No. Tastes like cardboard.
BTEC After 8.
Probably actually worse than it.
I agree with that, Sam, and we've spoken about it already. In hindsight, I think what would have been right is that we'd bought 3 big signings and kept the likes of Anel and Mario and tried to keep some experience in.
You know what kind of... I think we were always going to lose... Skip was never ours, right?
Yes.
So I think we were always going to lose him.
Yes.
I think the thing that maybe annoys me a little bit, I don't think we ever really tried to keep Emmy.
I think we did. I think we gave him one more season when we went down, and we had that season, and I think the football club had to let him go. Now, I would also stand on the other side of the fence and say and agree with the people that are so angry that we didn't break the bank for Emmy. But he also had a wobbly start at Aston Villa, and would an Emmy Buendia actually make this team stop conceding the amount of goals they're conceding?
Yeah, it's a fair point.
Would Emmy Buendia, I don't know, I think I personally would have broken the bank to keep Emmy, but as fans, we don't understand and know the conversations that have happened behind the scenes with Emmy's agent, with Stuart Webber, with Emmy himself. We might not ever know. I think we will one day. Hopefully, Emmy will come on the podcast. You do follow me, Emmy, so I'm working on it. But yeah, there you go.
Maxim, I love Maxim because he's got a brilliant. He's a cello player.
That's profile picture of the week. Hang on, I've got to try and get that on camera. Let's
no, because it's going to be blurry. I'll put it on the screen.
You've got to get that on camera. That's profile picture of the week, that
Look
is.
at the face.
Imagine being that much of an absolute boss.
Yeah.
That. You know what? Screw it. That's profile picture of the season.
Listen to this, by the way. He's a 20-year-old London-based cellist and BBC Young Musician Grand Finalist, studying at the Royal College of Music. Look at his Twitter header.
Can we just stop a minute?
Look at that.
Can we just stop a minute? Put your phone down.
Yeah, I agree.
That might be the most prestigious question of the season.
And Maxim has a statement.
Yeah, go on. This better be eloquent.
Whole club feels stale. Everything that built up in the last few years seems to have evaporated. Maybe they weren't good enough, but I can't help thinking selling so many key characters was a shocking decision.
Characters, yes.
Would rather watch the 1920 side than this squad. I think it was Dean Smith that said in his post-match interview that we just lack leaders. And I always think that's a really pithy kind of argument that doesn't really mean much. Kind of agree with him. I looked at that side. I was like, who's getting people up by the scruff of the neck?
No, there's no talking. There was no talking. I mean, McLean might have been moaning at a few of the lads, which, to be fair, was there. Timmy Krul is definitely a leader, but he wasn't on the pitch against Palace and he wasn't on the pitch against Arsenal. Pookie is a more experienced, mature footballer, but he's not a leader, right? So if you've only got one leader at the back, I would agree with that comment. We've lost a lot of character in that team. So I think Maxim is very right to say that. There was another part of that I wanted to come back on.
It's interesting as well because Stuart Webber has always said, not only is he signing a player, he's signing a person, right? Who can influence a dressing room in a positive fashion. I think we've lost a bit of that this time around.
But I think that was a But I think that Daniel Farke wanted to work with players that would just train and not say anything, just crack on and not challenge. And I actually think it's going to be different with Dino. And this is why I think Dino will be smashing Stuart Webber's door down, saying, I want signings in January. And will he get them? I don't think he will. But I think he would be the type of manager that would want to sign players with more character, with overriding passion, maybe even aggression. And by the way, I will say something. I actually do think we do have players like that, but I think they're hiding. I think they're hiding. I think they're not showing up. And I think that's the truth.
Dave has a positive.
Bloody hell, go on, Dave.
And he looks like a positive bloke.
Oh, Dave, top man.
Norwich season ticket holder, dad and husband can usually be found in Cornwall.
Wow, hello.
Positive.
Someone's doing well, living in Cornwall. Wow.
Probably a second home knowing Dave. Dino and Shaky have been dealt a really tough hand with this group of players and the COVID situation. It was always going to be tough. It was always going to be a tough ask to keep us up. Let's go down, clear the dead wood and rebuild for an instant return under a better manager with Premier League experience.
I don't think it's going to be that easy, Dave.
Oh, come on.
Sorry, Dave. It's a lovely message. It's spirited, but it's not realistic. It's going to take a what? Like, people say that. Sack them all. Get rid of them. Sell them all in January. You know, and all this stuff, right? You can't do that. You can't do that. You just can't.
Well, who's going to want to buy Josh Sargent?
Mate, honestly, I can't talk about Josh, please. I just can't do it on this podcast. I'm not ready to talk about him. I know I'm letting the people down by not, but I just can't because I just can't. Please don't go there.
Sorry, Dave. Mr. E.
Did you see Josh Sargent not tracking back against Crystal Palace?
Well, and Arsenal.
When he actually came on.
Mr. E.
Yes.
I
like Mr. E. I like Mr. E.
He starts his question by saying, I give up.
By the way, there was so many. I saw them earlier. Like, we always say on our post, like when we ask you guys for questions, we always put questions, statements, rants, and raves. We changed it this week to questions, statements, rants, and positives. Please find some. And I love it when. But so many people have just put statement. We are shit.
Mystery. I give up. I was at Palace and had the time of my life celebrating fictional goals. I have Watford tickets and then I'm out for the season. Done. Also, After Eights have recently changed their ingredients. They now have skimmed milk powder in, and I'm allergic.
Oh, sorry
I
to hear
can't
that.
handle this anymore.
Oh, sorry to hear that, Mystery.
Mystery, come over to the dark side and get some Ferrero Rochers in you.
By the way, this is what it's all about, right? And this is a message from me to the Norwich fans, the loyal Norwich fans, patient Norwich fans watching this now. Right, just... if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Yeah. And we are officially at the point where we have to laugh. And I'm still angry, but I'm trying to get myself into the position of laughing about it. So I'm talking to myself about that, and I'm also hopefully getting that across to you as well.
Tristan.
Yes.
Two positives in a row.
Big up, Tristan.
Good profile picture. Loves a beer.
Yeah.
Tristan. Positive. We were poor yesterday, but created 4 clear-cut chances that a normal team would bury. We're nowhere near as abject as we were against Arsenal, or as is being made out by some. Crystal Palace took all their chances first half. Yes, Tristan, but we're not a normal team. We don't have players that can score.
Yep.
Max Nichols, positive.
Yes, go on, Max.
Good Balti pie at Selhurst Park. Simple.
That's class.
It's the little things in life.
Do you know what? Palace away is a class away day.
Yeah,
class away day.
Yeah.
Do you remember when we
I
went?
really like Crystal Palace.
Well, we went when... I definitely was there for when Tim Close got injured. Gary O'Neill was bounding about the middle of the park and we were singing "We've Got O'Neill," the old Zinedine Zidane chant. Flares were going off.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a flare. Oh, I love a flare.
Bradley Snadden fell asleep.
Oh, Bradley Snadden fell asleep before the game had even started and somehow ended up in the players' lounge. Yeah, Crystal Palace away, great, and I'm so pleased that you enjoyed your pie.
You know what? I like Palace as a club. when I lived down there, Palace were my local team, and you know what I loved about it? Whenever you went for a walk around the area, all you saw were Palace shirts. No Chelsea, no Arsenal, no Liverpool, United. Palace shirts. Good club.
Good, loyal fans.
Matthew Morehouse.
Terrible stadium.
Yeah, you need wellies to go to the toilets.
In a questionable area.
No, good area.
No, it's got a supermarket next to it. I mean, albeit we've got Holiday Inn.
We've got Morrison's.
We've got Holiday Inn attached to our stadium.
Matthew Morehouse.
Oh,
good name.
That's second name.
Matthew Morehouse.
Matthew Morehouse.
Double M.
What a name.
This is harsh.
Punchy.
At times, I'd rather be playing with 10 men than with Kenny McLean in the midfield.
Oh, Jesus.
Matthew, I mean, punchy by name, punchy by nature.
I don't agree with that.
Did you hear Kenny's interview after the Arsenal game?
I have tried to spend as little time as possible watching anything coming out of the official club channels in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
So what did he say, Jack?
Well, he basically said we were shit.
Yeah, well, good. I'm pleased he said that.
Yeah.
And that's the truth, isn't it, right? I personally think Kenny is the least of our worries, to be honest. I think he is a small fire with a whole forest fire happening around us.
I like that. Well, I don't, but I like the
analogy.
Yeah. Kenny is a championship player. And I think, unfortunately, we've got a lot of them kind of players in the team. By no fault of his own.
I hope that you say that to him when he comes on this podcast one day.
I think he'd admit it himself.
I think he won't. I think he'll tell you to.
You think he's a Premier League player?
I think he'll tell you where to go.
Well, prove it to me then, Kenny.
Oh, fucking hell. Never mind, let's move on quickly.
Fish. His name's Fish. Looks like he sits quite near to us.
Oh, big up Fish.
Do you like Fish?
Big up Fish. What's it?
Look, that picture's very near where we sit.
Yeah. Fish, say hello.
Maybe he doesn't like us.
Probably doesn't.
This is bold.
Go on, Fish.
I think Sargent could be a decent option as a lone wolf up top. He's played there on his own once this season and scored a brace against Bournemouth in the Cup. Other times he's played up front, it's been with Pukki in a non-creative system. His finishing would be my only worry. Well, isn't that the only point of a striker, Fish, is finishing? I love that. All the good things. The one thing you need as a striker, that's his worry.
Oh, God. Fish, I'm so proud of you for trying to come up with a positive, but my God, please tell me that's a joke. Fish, do you know what, Fish? I respect the fact that you sit near us. I respect the fact that you're trying to find a positive. Like that Bournemouth side that we played in the Cup. Goodness gracious me, they were the most tin pot team we've played in years. Honestly, they were woeful. They were dreadful. Gillingham were equally as shite, by the way, in pre-season. But Bournemouth were bad. Bournemouth was so bad. So let's not give credit to anything that happened against Bournemouth.
It's the only positive of the season.
Yes, it is. But seriously, we can't... can you just read that statement again, right?
Sure.
So Fish has said, right?
He knows it's bold.
Yes, I know, and I respect the fact that you're trying to find positive. He has said the only problem is the finishing. If you're a striker and you can't finish, there's no point. There's no point. What's the point? You may as well not play with a striker. Maybe. Do you know what? Maybe actually Fish is onto something. I reckon Fish should be in the management setup. Do you know why? I think we need to revert to the Spain system where we play without a striker.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need to do. Pack out the midfield.
Yeah. It's like saying, isn't it? It's like a striker who can't finish is like saying, I've just purchased a wonderful cow from auction.
What?
Right?
I knew you were going to say something
I've got a wonderful
horrendous.
cow. Come and see it. Only problem is not producing any milk. Well, there's no point then, is there?
Wow.
What, we just going to shoot it in the head and eat it? We need some produce from it while it's alive. Hey?
Oh, God.
Sure, you're a nice bloke, Fish.
No. Fish is a top man, and as I want to reiterate,
Good.
I really respect the fact that he's tried to find a positive. But saying Josh Sargent as a lone striker right now is like saying that Ipswich are a good football club.
Jack.
Yep.
Good name.
Questionable
It's just
name.
these fun. It's just all of these are so depressing.
There's so many that says statement, we are shit.
Where do Norwich go from here?
Oh, Christ, where do you begin?
Although it was a good atmosphere yesterday, the fans are completely disconnected from the club.
saying-
I know we're struggling with injuries, but these are professionals.
You say a good atmosphere. I mean, the fans turned on the players.
The board have got a lot of answering to do.
Do you know what? Do you know the truth is? And I feel bad for actually. I said to Jack before this. I'm not up for this tonight. I'm not up for it.
Open the door and you were like, I'm really not up for this.
I'm not.
Thanks, Nate. Good welcome.
I'm not up for it. Because I feel bad. Because I'm moaning about it, but I'm not offering a solution. And I believe that it's really important that if you're going to moan, you need to come up with some solutions. I don't know where we go from here, because Webber, we can't sign anyone in January, and he said that we're not going to sign anyone in January. Dino is going to be, God knows how Dino's going to cope for the next few weeks. God knows how shaky he's feeling right now. He's not going to be shaking up anything anytime soon, is he? Yeah, we've got players that are, I just feel like everything's crumbling that we've built up. Everything, do you know what? We've gone from being so proud of our football club, yeah, we were like the leaders. Like, we were the envy of definitely the championship teams, but arguably some Premier League clubs as well, saying, look at you, I like what you're doing there. I'm utterly embarrassed now. We've gone from up here to down here immediately. And that drop-off is unacceptable. And I don't know the answer.
We've got a soccer bot.
Fucking hell, don't mention
I think we've got the soccer bot on the wrong setting.
How have we... Do you know what? We laughed about this. We have literally regressed since we bought in the soccer bot.
I think we need to switch it off and on again.
I think the soccer bot needs to be turned on and off. I think that we need to change the setting to... can we score in a soccer bot, or is it just passing? We need to get some real nets in the soccer bot. Go on.
There's so many questions.
They're all just very depressing, aren't
They are. I'll get a few more in here.
Yeah, go on.
I keep losing signal.
120 moans.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
Reece
dear.
Brown. Now we actually nearly banned Reece.
Yes.
Because he's got a Suffolk beer company in his profile picture.
Yeah.
But we'll overlook that.
Yeah.
Reece is looking for some advice.
Oh, right.
Reece is debating whether to buy tickets to Charlton away. Is anyone confident that we can beat them? Go. Charlton is a good away day. It's a good ground.
Yeah, and we've had happy memories at Charlton.
It's the FA Cup.
We've had bad memories at Charlton as well. Very bad. Relegated at Charlton, but also promoted at Charlton. The old Michael Nelson, the Admiral himself.
Good header.
Yeah, go. I tell you what though, we all giggled because Ipswich lost to Charlton, didn't they? And
Yes.
well, they lose to everyone. But if we lose to Charlton,
Yeah, it could be bleak.
it's I would not want to be on that train home from Charlton. But go, 100% go.
15 quid a ticket.
Go.
Jake, positive.
Go. Wow.
Sam Byram coming back from injury and starting again.
I've got a bit of a controversial opinion on this.
Oh no.
I really like Sam
Don't
Byram.
slag Sam Byram.
I'm not going to. Maybe. I really like Sam.
But
I'm so pleased he's back. It's genuinely the only real light in a few games, apart from big old Johnny Rowe, who I absolutely love, by the way. And I'm not being sarcastic. I literally think he's an absolute baller. Everyone's saying, Sam Byram was great. Oh, at least Sam Byram was great against Palace. Sam Byram wasn't great against Palace. And what I had to tell the people that were in the away end is, on that other side that they couldn't see, Byram misplaced so many passes.
most out of all of the team.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I'm buzzing that Byram's back, genuinely. I do think he'll be a really important player for us for the rest of the season, but I don't think we should be going over the top about Sam Byram.
No, but it's nice to see him fit again.
Well, yeah, of course, but we've been there and we've done that against Arsenal.
Yeah.
Centre midfield masterclass.
I'll find a positive. If there's any away ground you want to see your team do poorly at, it's Crystal Palace, because you can't see anything anywhere. There's just poles everywhere.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Go
on, next. Read out a couple of those depressing statements. Go on.
Depressing ones.
What?
I mean, how depressing do you want to go?
Well, I don't know. Just go. Just go.
Toby Gallant.
Yeah.
All I'm seeing is a mid-table championship team at best.
Do you know, I can't... Do you know what worries me, Jack? If we're not going to sign anyone in January, okay, let's talk this through. Let's actually talk this through. I'm sorry to bring this upon the people of TNC. So, we go down to the championship.
Yes.
Right? We might stay up. Who knows? But say we go down to championship. Norman is gone.
Yeah.
Kabak,
Gone.
Max Aarons is surely going to go. Surely will
Gone.
go. Yeah? Todd Cantwell?
Gone.
I could go through all of our players and think...
Yeah, it's a rebuild, isn't it? Pookie?
I still think Pookie's a Premier League player. I think Pookie is one of maybe 2 or 3 Premier League players. And if I was Pookie, I'm not sure I'd want to stay.
I heard Simon Lappin on Radio Norfolk the other day describe Timu Pukki as one of the best finishers in world football. I thought, yeah, you know what, Simon, good.
Yeah, I like that.
Good.
The King of Spain, I love that.
Charlie.
Yeah.
Statement.
Yeah.
We're dog shit. Also, this is directed at Chris Reeve. I had my Christmas dinner. It was with a complete layer of tomato ketchup on.
Oh,
it was delightful.
Really?
This is Charlie. Charlie likes...
Charlie? Really, Charlie? Really, Charlie? Tomato ketchup on... Charlie. Come on.
Yeah, not great.
Tommy K on your bloody Christmas roast. That's like wanting Josh Sargent up top on his own. Anyone for an after 8?
No. Craig Killett.
Oh, Craigie. What's he saying?
Positive.
Yep.
Only one home game in January.
Oh, dear.
Right, one more question. I love this. This is coming in from Ben.
Yeah.
Ben
Yep.
has sent a screenshot
Right.
of 13 statements.
Wow. Oh, go on then. Let's go through them. Does he really?
Oh, no, hang on. 13 chants. Oh, Ben has included 2 statements and then 13 chants of different ways of calling us shit at Selhurst Park.
Who is this Ben chap?
Ben OTBC.
Ben OTBC. Big up Ben. Right. What's he saying?
I can't read out the chants. Lots of them are very rude.
Right. Okay. So what's the crux of it?
Statement. I don't think it's fair that people are scapegoating Billy Gilmour when the entire squad was being criticised.
I agree with that.
It wasn't like Billy Gilmour was the only one getting stick.
Agree with that.
Yeah, that's basically it. And then
Okay.
13 different chants.
Ben, I really appreciate you taking the time and effort to do that, even though Jack won't read it all out.
Biggie Pauls.
I can't get enough of this name. Biggie Pauls.
So this is writer, accountant, filmmaker, business advisor. Biggie says, start Jonathan Rowe.
Can we just, is that his name?
Why not?
Do you reckon he rocks up to the office and they go, morning, Biggie. Hey, Biggie. BP. He's known as BP.
BP. And his Instagram caption is easy peasy. Good to see you, Biggie.
Yep.
Start Jonathan Rowe and Tom Dixon-Peters against Leicester.
Yes.
Give Jollis a run. We need to score goals, and I don't know where else they might come from. See,
I'm so up for TDP.
Yeah, see, I'm not.
TDP and Jonathan Rowe. Mate, I'm so up for it. It can't get worse.
No,
Bring him on. Give him a chance.
No, it can't get worse, but
against Leicester away, that's a game where you're thinking we're not realistically going to be targeting that game for points.
if I'm a... Look, I don't have degrees in kind of psychology, but I don't think the best way to give motivation to a youngster is throw them into a Premier League side who you know is going to get beat.
I disagree. I think they'll thrive at the opportunity, and I think they'll take it. And by the way, they've been bagging goals for fun in the under-23s.
Yeah, but it's a bit different to the Premier League, isn't it?
Mate, well...
Have we really got to that level where we're chucking 17-year-olds in?
Yes, wake up. Jack, wake up. That is where we are at now, my friend.
Big Johnny Rowe. Dixon-Peters.
I thought you said Jonathan Rowe sent us a tweet.
Oh, no, he might have done.
Good on him if he has. Seriously, though, Jonathan Rowe, get him going. Row your boat.
Right, final question. I said this about 10 minutes ago. There's just so many.
How long has this been? I'm so sorry.
Ryan said, why did you delete your Billy Gilmour tweet?
We've explained
What
that.
was the thought process? Yeah, we have explained it. Yeah, we've explained that. One final one.
Yeah.
Finn Bassett.
Yeah, big up Finn.
He's attached a video of all of our mistakes this season. Finn says, what do you make of Stuart Webber at the start of the season saying that last time I sent Daniel to war without a gun. Now he's got a gun, grenades, and the bazooka. We just need the tank. That's what he said in it. That is word for word. He said that in a BBC Radio Norfolk interview at the start of the season, in pre-season.
What do you think, Jack?
Well, I don't think I necessarily disagreed with it at the time. So I think
we spent 50 million quid.
Yeah,
we just spent 50 million quid on the wrong items.
Yeah, we've spent 60 million quid on guns without any ammo, haven't we?
Mm.
We've got the AK-47, but it's faulty.
I think.
Have we not even got the? Maybe we've just purchased a BB gun.
Yeah,
and we're trying to find the trenches of Baghdad.
Nerf gun. The tank is a Peugeot 206. It is. The tank is a Peugeot 206.
Yeah.
It is. Do you know why? Because it's broken down. The tank was Norman, and he's broken down.
But I guess when you buy a Peugeot 206, it's a good runner, but they are faulty.
Yeah.
And we knew that with Norman.
Look, if you don't laugh, you cry. I'm sorry this has been a miserable podcast, but hopefully it's been somewhat cathartic for you all.
I honestly couldn't tell you who our next game's against, and I don't really want to know.
I am looking forward to the international break.
Already? I don't think we've got one for a while, have we?
I hope so. When is it?
We've got an FA Cup game coming up. I'm not even going to look.
I think is it Charlton? Oh, God,
we've got Charlton in the FA Cup.
I've tried not to think about it for a couple of days. It's been really... I've honestly, do you know what make you laugh? I was watching the game against Palace in the old box, and Becky, Miss Reed comes through and she says, "Oh, that's a positive." And I went, and I was seething at the time. I was spitting feathers at the TV. This was in the second half. She comes through. She goes, "That's a positive." And I go, "What?" She goes, "We've not conceded in 30 minutes." Fucking hell, really.
Did you laugh at that, or did you snap?
No, I gave her a little smile.
Did you?
Yeah, it was a little smile. Because if you don't laugh, you'll cry.
Because sometimes I was watching the game.
What do you
yesterday
just? Just tell your missus to fuck off?
Well, no, I was watching the game with my mum, and she's a very optimistic person, and I think we just had a shot from 30 yards that kind of hit a defender, and I think Mum said, "Oh, that was going in." It didn't.
Oh yeah, PLM.
Yeah, it was that one.
Yeah, PLM was.
That was.
Oh.
It went about 2 yards ahead.
Yeah, it was.
And Norwich staying up.
Or
have they finally broken?
Do you know what's killing me, Jack?
I know what you're going to say, and it's killing me too. Killing me softly.
It's Burnley. Burnley. If it wasn't for bloody Burnley and their 55 games in hand,
we've won more games than two teams in this division.
This is the thing, right? And I know there's more chance of. And honestly, I would actually take us. Actually managing to keep possession for two passes at the moment, rather, but it's more likely to that than to win 2 games in a row. But if you win 2 games, it all changes. It's just the fact that we're not going to win 2 games in a row, and it's dismal. It's really dismal.
The problem is like we're trying to be we are really shit.
But there are the matter of the fact is, Jack,
cut us adrift. It'd make it easier to deal with.
But there are so many other shit teams in the Premier League this season. That's what's annoying me even more, Jack. We are missing such a big opportunity to stay up.
Yes.
Because there's like 7 or 8 teams that could be sucked into it at any minute. And we're missing such good opportunities to get points on so many occasions.
I always like watching. What I do is after a game is I record my match review and then I watch Michael Bailey's, and I'm like, if I'm somewhere close to what Michael's saying, right, I've done a good job.
Yeah,
he's like the barometer of good football.
He's sensible. He's calm and collected.
And I said similar things to Michael, but he said, people keep saying to me like, Norwich is still in it. They're only 3 points adrift, and then he was like, but I've watched Norwich all season, and I know that doesn't matter. Because we won't...
Did he say that?
Yes, he said, I've watched Norwich. Oh. Because the thing is like, that Burnley, that Newcastle, Leeds, whoever... They will pick up wins at some point.
Newcastle aren't going to be in it because of the fact that they've got that money.
I think they're down.
Well, we don't want them down.
They've won 1 game
we don't want them down, because if they go down, we're not winning the title next season.
Well, I don't think that's the... No, that's true. No, that is true.
Well, let's start talking about that. Anyway, we can go on forever. Thank you for watching this episode.
Norwich have got to the halfway point of the season
Yes.
with 10... No, how many points have we got?
10.
10 points.
And a,
No, it's
and
8,
a,
isn't
and
it?
A minus,
or is it 10?
No, it's 10. And a minus goal difference of, I think it's 34, 38,
God.
36.
We've scored 6 goals from open play, which is the worst, I think, of any team in Premier League history.
0 of our players have scored in the Premier League this season that started against
That
Crystal
was a
Palace.
mad stat, that. I saw that on Twitter and I was like, surely that's not true. It was. I think one player in there had got an assist.
Who?
Dimmy against Newcastle.
Oh, yeah, fair. That's good.
The problem is, Chris, is even the wins this season have been very fortunate.
Are you really going to admit that?
Southampton, their keeper felt sorry for us and chucked it in twice.
Brentford had loads of injuries.
Brentford was, yeah.
And to be fair, we almost pissed that ball as well.
What is there to look forward to with Norwich? Give me something. Come on. Give me something.
Okay, what are we looking forward to with Norwich? Okay. The January transfer window is coming.
Presents opportunity.
It presents us with an opportunity to distract us from what we're seeing on the pitch by all pretending that we're going to sign a player that we are not going to sign.
No, that's good. False optimism's good.
Yeah, it's kind of like having a Lemsip when you've got a cold. Yeah, you know full well that the Lemsip's only going to get you through the night, but it's not gonna solve your problems.
Yes,
it's just a remedy. So this January transfer window, maybe you know at Palace when they all started jumping up and down when we scored a goal. Well, we didn't.
Yeah.
We had to fake it.
Yeah.
Maybe we should all pretend that we're going to sign exciting players to try and
get back in the room a bit.
Get some energy in the room.
Yeah, that's good.
Look, I'm excited to see the youngsters. I want to see TDP involved. What's funny about that?
TDP. Sounds like a motor oil.
Well, he'll be like a motor oil for this Norwich City team. I'll tell you that for free. And I'm buzzing to see Big Johnny Rowe in the room as well.
If you were to get a name printed on the back of your shirt, would you get Rowe?
Right now, no. I would. Right now, I'd get on the back of my shirt, please hug me. What would you get on the back of your Norwich shirt?
Yo.
Oh, you wouldn't get Roop?
No.
By the way, we miss Roop. Let's put that in the room.
Yeah, I mean,
have this.
Yeah.
We miss Lucas Roop.
Yeah, we do.
We miss Lucas Roop.
Yeah, we do.
How do you like that?
Yeah, I'll put it in my soccer button, smoke it all night long. We have to mention one of our sponsors.
Go on. Who?
Michael Hoffer.
Why?
We're at Carrow Road, right? We've just watched Arsenal score their 4th. I turn around to Chris. I get my phone out. I don't know. I was just looking. WhatsApp message from Michael Hoffer. Excellent.
Yeah.
I love receiving WhatsApp messages from Hoffer.
Big up Hoff.
Hoffer and Webb. The Hoffmeister.
Yeah.
Open it.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe my eyes.
I could.
Thought I was hallucinating.
I could.
Michael Hoffer,
Yeah.
underneath his 70-inch television,
He's got a shrine to Josh Sargent.
has got a framed Josh Sargent shirt.
Well,
now, if that doesn't sum up Americans, it won't will. Blind faith in their own. You know what?
Fair play.
Kind of like it.
Yeah, me too. I respect it. Big up the Hoff.
So the Hoff, I hope your Sargent shrine is sparkling.
Thank you to everyone that's... By the way, if you've watched this all the way through, or you've listened to this all the way through...
It's free therapy.
Please tweet us at TalkNorwichCity and confirm that you've watched it all the way through. And take a screenshot of your screen and tweet it, and we'll retweet those, won't we, Jack?
We will, yeah.
Big up, good luck. I say good luck because you're going to need it to get through the rest of this season. We need the team to give us something now.
You know, the good thing.
Up to the fans.
Here's a good
thing.
thing.
The team must give us something. We need to bounce back against Leicester. I already said against Palace, Arsenal was embarrassing. We needed some fight. We needed a response against Palace, and we literally turned up at Selhurst Park and bent over backwards for them. And we cannot afford to do that again against Leicester.
Barring if we lose against Charlton, it can't get any worse this season. That's a positive. We've hit the low.
I think it can. And
Do
I
you?
think it will.
Oh, no.
I think it will get worse before it gets better.
Really?
Yeah. I'm sorry to say.
How does it get worse?
I don't want to even... do you know what? I don't even want to put that in my mind. sadly think that's where we're at.
Okay. Good to see you.
Yeah, you too, Jack. Cheers. And
I'm not having another one.
after it.
On that bombshell, we will
Cheers.
depart. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.